Hello there, Libra, and welcome to your October reading. Great to see you first and foremost, especially all of my return viewers. If you're brand new, I'd also like to extend a warm welcome and give you a proper introduction. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh, and here's how I organize the reading every month. I like to start off with some channeled information. I really enjoy this part because it's when I'm just connecting with raw intuition and sharing what I see, feel, and hear with you. Afterwards, I use the cards in a Celtic Cross to help identify all of the blessings and any potential blocks that you might face in the month ahead. Now, that part is very organic, so I expand the forecast to look at some specific areas afterwards, including health, wealth, love, and destiny. As always, you can use this forecast for your sun sign, your rising, as well as your moon, and you can watch on behalf of someone that you care about in your life. And if you don't happen, by the way, to know your sun, rising, or moon sign, then just stick with the sign that you were born under, and you're going to receive all of the guidance that you need simply by doing that. So as you can see, this gives you a really in-depth overview of everything that's coming through for the month ahead, and I hope you enjoy it. If you do, please stick around until the very end, because in addition to giving you a really concise overview, I'll also give you some ways that you can give back to the channel and support future video production. This includes everything from liking and subscribing to connecting on social media, and for some of you, you may also choose to book an appointment or become a patron. Again, I'll get into the details of how you can do this and why it's important at the end, but I know you came here for the forecast, so let's get straight into your channeled information for the month of October. All right, Libra, this is an exciting month for you. I have to say this. As I was tuning into your energy, the first thing that I saw was an indication from my guides, you've probably heard me talk about this before, of a second chance. I saw a boomerang coming around, and when I tuned into what would be sort of boomeranging or returning to you this time, it feels like it was very much related to either like career, money, or success, because then they showed me the Ace of Pentacles in my mind's eye. Of course, when we take a look at the cards in a few minutes here, we'll get a little more detail of what that offering could be, because the Ace of Pentacles can also be like an offer of marriage or a relationship or a partnership. So I don't know quite yet what the details are for the partnership or the opportunity. All I see is that something really important could be coming through for many of you, a big shift in your sort of life, and I'm excited for whatever that could mean for many of you. The other component to this, and I think this is the more important piece, was I saw a cake. I saw two cakes actually, one from the past, one from now, and what's coming through over the next month. And when I looked at the past, it just didn't look finished. It looked like it was not completely baked. What's coming through right now seemed like all of the ingredients were there, and what my guides told me was it wasn't just the offering that you were giving, it was what you felt like internally. So what people are now seeing is that you have more self-worth or more preparedness or more readiness. So in fact, it is your energy that is attracting things to your sort of to your orbit. I've talked about this idea that we can pull things in and out of our orbit. So I think that timing is really key. You weren't ready previously, you are ready now. And I wrote down that patience is also being rewarded here, because many of you didn't give up on what it was that you were trying to do. And this time around, the people that you meet, the opportunities that come through, they're also going to be more baked, more ready, and a better match for you. So sometimes it's not that the universe doesn't have your back or that you failed. It's that your readiness has to be there, both internally and then environmentally. So this is a month where many of you will get a second opportunity to be more successful at a job, to get that relationship that you wanted, or to, if you're trying to sell something or offer something or project something, people are receiving that in a much more favorable light this month. So one of the songs that came through for me was an very old Carly Simon song, which was coming around again. And so I feel like this is your month. That's your theme song, is that you're getting a second chance. It may not have been the way that you thought it would be. It may not have happened in the timing that you wanted it to happen. But the universe is kind of stubborn sometimes, right? It won't give us what we need until we're ready for it. And I feel like you're ready for it now. So just to review one more time, this is a month where you can try again at something that you care about. You get a second chance at some sort of a success in your life, whether it's work, which I'm kind of feeling for many of you, but it could also be relationship. These are not mutually exclusive. There might be a combination of the two. And what's really happening right now is that the timing is correct and your patience is being rewarded. So let's go ahead now and move along to the Celtic Cross. I'm going to pull all of the cards right now. And at this point, I like to remain quiet while I lay out the spread. But afterwards, I will pull up each and every card and we're going to relate it to all of the messages and guidance for the month ahead. All right, Libra, as we look at your Catalyst card this month, we have Distant Thunder, it's reversed. The message on this one is to clear the air. The interesting thing about this is it's definitely a change card as well. This is sometimes when you see something coming. For some of you, you could be deciding perhaps to quit your job, or you're sensing that there might be an issue going on either in your family or your work situation. And what's important is to have a proactive communication with said partner, boss, or whatever this sort of nucleus is for your situation, and make sure that everything has been sort of laid out as far as how this is going to work, what your thoughts are, etc. Don't wait for something to come to you or something to kind of blow up. This is your chance to kind of diffuse a situation way in advance of it happening. And the card reverse is saying that it's really not going to be that bad. It's a matter of kind of just having a heart-to-heart or a face-to-face conversation. And that's going to be so much more effective than an email, a text, or a voicemail. So there is a heavy encouragement for your sign to really have personal conversations this month, and like it says here, clear the air, let whatever you need to sort of say be said, and also listen to other people. If you're worried about something, if you sense that somebody needs you or that there is a little bit of discord or disagreement, just be a very active listener and a supportive ally to this person, and I think you can turn the tide there. The other thing, if we take it away from clearing the air, I can't help but look at like this coming storm, and a storm brings about a change in the environment, in the atmosphere. And when we look at your deep past, we have the Tower card. And the imagery on these cards is very, very similar. So what I'm seeing for you could be kind of the equivalent of two big shifts or two big changes in your life. One of them is very much in your control, and it feels like you knew about it. Even the one that I see in the distant past, what I see here is that you decided to take some action and change things. So it feels like you are the agent of change in your life right now. Something from the past that you wanted to change, and something in the future that you're aware of and you also want to be an active participant. These are good things because it's showing me that you have a lot of control, a lot of potential power in shaping or shifting the situation to be something that's really beneficial. And as I'm looking at the cards today, there's a couple points that I want to highlight that you want to be careful of, but most of them are very bright. Most of the cards are very positive and do reflect what I was seeing in the channeled information. So without any additional delay, let's get into the cards. I'm interested to see, and I know you are too. So guess what? We actually have a very relationship-heavy card at the center, Princess of Cups. And this is a page in this particular deck. So pages are about delivery and receipt. And what I was talking about at the very beginning was that this time around, whatever it is you're trying to do, people are more enthusiastic about it. And that's why I think we have the Cups card here. This is about attitude, emotion, and I think also some people might be making their mind up more on that feeling that they have. It's an intuitive card. It's a creative card. So what's going to be really important for you this month is to use your heart as your compass, and also let your heart shine through, kind of beam that out when you're having a conversation, especially if you are doing something like proposing or quitting a job or pitching some sort of an idea. Use your enthusiasm and your passion to connect to their heart space. See this wonderful, bright, energetic cord opening up between the heart spaces, and allow that to be a way to download information to that person and also to receive information from them. The heart space is always open, and it's a safe place to kind of allow that kind of energy to flow. Right on top of that, we have a card that would be closely associated with your sign, which is Queen of Swords. So this is showing the heart, this is showing communication. Use your words, but also use your body and use your emotions to convey the communication. Queen of Swords is a great card to come up anywhere in your spread. Because this is crossing the center card, it's neither positive nor negative. I've said this before for a few signs, this is sort of your tool, this is your opportunity. And what better tool for Libra than to use the communication and sort of diplomacy that is inherent to your sign. So this month, just be honest, use passion to back that up, and to also, I think for some of you, if you want to do something in the field of communications, like writing, public speaking, or if you want to finalize something, this can be signing a deal, right? Anytime that I see the King or the Queen of Swords, a lot of times that's about signing on the dotted line. So you may have a chance to negotiate something and finalize it this month, which is exciting as well. Some of you might be moving. We have the Tower card here in the distant past, deep past. But this could just mean that this is an eventuality happening, because the Tower for me is a lot of times moving out of something. So moving out of a house, quitting a job, or maybe there's been a roommate situation and you're deciding that's not working for you either. Whatever it is, you have some sort of control over that, because the Tower card is reversed. When it's upright, it's a surprise. When it's reversed, it can show a revision, previous knowledge, or some sort of something coming through the grapevine. So this has been slow and steady, and I think for some of you, that's what the distant thunder has been. You've known that this is coming, okay? It may have taken longer than expected, but it's finally here now. And I think that's what we're seeing between the Tower and the Thunder card here. So you've been working on it. For many of you, you may have decided to do some sort of improvement. Maybe it was self-improvement. You might have gone back to school, and that's the change and that's the shift that's happened. Some of you may have just done some soul searching and some growth emotionally and personally. And now you've kind of changed. You're emerging this month like a butterfly coming out of a chrysalis. And for the rest of you, maybe it was something like home improvement or a revision of a project. And now you're going to try to sell that to somebody this month. As we look at what you're going to be sort of needing to be mindful of this month, it's to not overthink it. This card is great. It's a management card, okay? So whenever I see the Queen of Wands, it's showing me that you have an ability to really help conduct everything. If I were to create a deck of cards, that might be what could be on this card too. You could see someone in front of an orchestra conducting, right? But when it's reversed, it means that somehow you are doubting your skills, or you're not paying attention to what's going on around you, and you could kind of fall out of cadence or out of rhythm with that. So what I'd like you to do is to really get into your heart space, your intuition, and one way that I channel is through writing. All of these words that I write here, I close my eyes, and then as I think of something, I scribble it down. You could try automatic writing this month as a way to connect to your intuition. You could also try any sort of composition, if you're like a musician, or if you're an artist, or if you just want to kind of talk to someone and get it out. Have you ever noticed that you feel better sometimes after you just talk to a friend, or maybe your parent, or something like that? That's because you're channeling and you're not editing yourself. So listen, you've done a lot of revision and editing to something in the past. This month, I'd like you to just trust yourself and go with the flow, because that's what a conductor is doing. They know what to do and they're helping organize everything. So get back into the flow, get back into synchronicity with everything, and allow for the universe to kind of carry you along. Because if you can get back into that flow, everything's pointing in the right direction this month, okay? So get out of your headspace. We have the Four of Wands in the crowning position. Now, here's the interesting thing. It's reversed, which means that I feel some of you have a little, like there's a little bit of a lack of confidence that's coming through. And that's surprising to me because of the cake that I saw on the boomerang. And I'm like, okay, this time you're ready. There's still a little bit of internal self-doubt that you might need to sort out this month. The other thing that I'd like to call attention to in this particular card is the lack of a partnership showing up in here. So normally you would see two people underneath this canopy, and it's a symbol for marriage or partnership or being together with somebody. What I've seen in this space right now for you is that you're making room for someone, but there's a question mark. That's what I'm getting in, clairvoyantly. And what I think the question is for you is that you're trying to decide, do I want to do this by myself or do I want to do it with somebody? So that could be deciding like if you want to be single or married. It could be deciding if you want some sort of a representative in your life, an agent of assistance, someone that's going to be by your side. It could also be if you're creating a company or some sort of project, do you want to go solo or do you want to sort of split it down the middle? There's no right or wrong answer. What I actually see is you could do it either way, okay? And it really kind of boils down to preference. So do a little bit of soul searching. That's a decision you have to make. But either way, I feel like it's going to work out. So really tune into your heart space. Nobody showed up yet. And one thing that I would say for you is to, if you want to call in a partner, if you really want to kind of see what that would look like, be specific. So if it's a lover and you're trying to figure out what your future partner is going to look like there, be really specific, not about looks. Trust that the universe has your back and knows your type, but focus on attributes. Think like that you want someone that is available, independent, ready for love, ready for a family, whatever it is you're trying to see in your ideal partner. Think of those attributes and kind of like email that out to the galaxy and say, all right, I am ready, but not a moment before that kind of combination comes through. Don't just say like, send me a man or send me a woman. You want to really be ready for the partner that's going to come through, okay? And you want them to match your criteria. So if you're going to be picky. And you may be surprised because of all of the positive sort of symbols that I've been receiving, okay? I just wanted to, in addition to holding space, really put out what you want, okay? I did that with my dog, and I'll pull him up at the end of this reading since some of you haven't met him. But when I was thinking of getting a dog, I waited 2 years before adopting. But I said a silent prayer one night where I just threw out energy into the universe and I tried to connect with Apollo out there. And at one moment I actually felt the energy come in and I knew that what I was looking for was going to arrive. And then I just waited for the calling. And when I met him, I knew it was him. Even though he was tough to kind of warm up to me at the beginning because he was a rescue. But I recognized the soul energy. So did a relative of mine who said, you have to keep that pet. And both of us ultimately were right. So just know that if you can connect to what you're trying to bring in, it will happen. But if you are super specific, it takes a little bit longer. So what we're seeing here is this may not show up, this partnership, if you want it, it may actually happen in 2 or 3 months' time, but I'm seeing an indication that it's ready, it's coming, and the universe just wants to know exactly how specific you need it to be, okay? Here's what we have in the near future. We have the Princess of Wands. So again, this is a page, so this will be about both delivery and receipt. You could get an offer, and also you might be offering something to someone. So in addition to waiting for the universe, some of you might be a little bit more bold, and you're going to do some research. And if it's an agent or someone that you're going to hire, you're going to go out and find or solicit someone that you think is a good match. If it's a partner, this is about maybe taking a chance and asking someone out, not waiting for them to come to you. And I think that's great. That's showing initiative. That's showing poise. That's showing the confidence that I saw when I looked at the baked cake in my mind's eye. So however you approach that, I just want you to know that it's okay for you to go forward and seek out something too. I don't think that we should always be passive. And that's what that card is saying here. A lot of times you can overthink. Don't overthink. Move forward. put out some sort of feelers, because that's the difference between the Queen of Wands reverse. Queens and kings wait. Pages and knights do, and they explore and they talk. And so I see movement and motion and you being very active, and I think that's going to be to your benefit. This can also just show a very hands-on approach. So if it is a project or something that you want to create, maybe you just decide to start moving forward. And ironically, that's actually going to bring the partnership closer to you. So I actually think, because this sign typically likes to kind of know everything, look at every possible angle, that there is no harm done in looking at plan B, plan C, just get the wheels moving, because that is also going to sort of like break through any stagnancy. And again, you could actually call in something faster than expected by going down that route. Moving along to your ego this month, we have the moon, which shows heightened creativity, a lot of intuition, and also a little bit of fear around who you can trust. So, the moon card indicates things that you have to deal with. So in the past, did someone let you down? Is this so near and dear to you, whatever you're trying to kind of put out into the world, that you're afraid of letting someone see it for fear of it being stolen or whatever? The moon card is saying, put a little bit of protection in place, whatever that is, around communication. Maybe it's a non-disclosure that you have to get ready. If it's getting married, it's a prenuptial. If it's a relationship, it's just talking about your hopes, your fears, and your ambitions with this person. Because if you're truly going to be life partners or enter into some sort of a promise or a partnership with them, you have to be able to talk about these kinds of things. So we saw a little bit of a confidence issue for you that could get in the way. We saw the potential to overthink. And now we're seeing something coming through with trust. Because this doubles as an intuition card, you're going to be able to really know if you can trust someone. So if you're kind of having an echo of the past where something fell apart because you thought an individual had your back but they didn't, or you had hoped that something would work, this is just more or less a fear card saying, will it happen again? So in your daily meditation, what I'd love for you to do is to look at that moment in the past where you were either rejected, where you were disappointed, where someone walked away, whatever that moment in the past was, the tower, because there was something pivotal for you that seemed to create a little bit of a scar around your soul, or a blister there. What you want to do is go back to that moment and approach it with gratitude and really evaluate it one more time, because if we can look back at the past and learn from it, then we are not destined to repeat that same situation. Look at it and say, thank you, I learned what I needed to learn. Thank you, universe, I don't need this lesson again. This way you can diffuse what's coming through with the combination of the tower reversed and the moon. History is important, that's why we study it in school. We have to do the same thing in our own life. And this time it's not about a past life, it's about something that happened within the past year or so that was a disappointment, a setback, or felt like, how is this ever going to work out? Look at why it happened, look at why it fell apart, maybe acknowledge that that wasn't the right person, the right place, the right thing, the right time, and now look at what you are today, how you've grown, and think, I'm not the same person. It's not going to happen because I've actually learned from that. And with the gratitude, with kind of studying that situation, you will then be able to diffuse the moon, move forward, feel confident, and then get back into that intuitive flow. See things with your third eye. Don't get in your head too much, because that's, again, that's kind of pulling you out of your sort of synchronicity. And one sort of extension of that is actually being seen here in the environment. We have the Seven of Swords. Now, it's difficult to see from this particular illustration, but normally we see someone kind of sneaking away in the night. And it has to do with, again, trust. These two cards are about trust and fear and communication. So how do you avoid a Seven of Swords moment? It's through being very, very clear, through asking questions, kind of being like an interviewer or a journalist, and not being afraid to voice your concerns. Transparency, basically. And that's what this guy is actually doing here. He's going through all of his sort of checklist items and making sure that everything has been absolutely checked off. So if you're working with a lawyer, if you're working with an agent, if you are reviewing some sort of a contract, Don't do anything that you don't understand. Get every single line item explained to you so that you feel comfortable. That transparency, that knowledge, that's going to give you what you need to move forward, and it's going to diffuse the fear again. As we look at what's on the horizon for you, this is where I see it's a combination of both. So far, it's been relationship and opportunity, like relationship heavy, but now we're moving more into some sort of money, resource, payment, or job. Because again, a prince here is movement in that category. And what I'm seeing for many of you is that everything's being set up. The Four of Wands is a framework card. The Prince of Pentacles is an actual offer. And here it's in the sort of 1 to 2 month frame. So it may not happen right now. It may happen in November or December. But I do see an offer coming in for you, or the receipt of an offer. So although we didn't get an ace, we did get one of the court cards here with the Suit of Pentacles. So that portends good things in that area. So you have to be ready, and a little bit more patience in the final sort of unraveling of this story of what we're seeing this month. Ultimately here, stay clear to your vision. We have an ace which ends the month here, the Ace of Wands. And this was something that you wanted, something that you dreamed about, but I want you not to give up on it, because the Ace of Wands reverse could again be thinking, is it going to be worth it? Are people going to see it? Is something wrong with it? Why is it taking still another month or two? I thought Nicholas said that it was coming through this month, but what I saw was the boomerang. I saw a second chance. I saw that big ace card, and the ace is probably going to happen in the next couple of months here. So be patient, be diligent. Know that I see the movement happening here, and what you have to keep seeing here is your vision. And to not second guess yourself, because the surefire way to push away whatever it is you're trying to create is doubt, uncertainty, fear, and those are the basically shadow energies that you want to avoid. Everything else is shaping up to be really, really positive. And I like that we see Four of Wands. I like that we see Prince of Pentacles. And I feel like the Princess of Cups here at the center too is showing that all of the components for success are at your disposal. But don't overthink, don't give in to fear, don't worry about, communication issues that happened in the past, because what did you have in the center? The Queen of Swords crossing that passion card. So you're going to be able to communicate and convey your concerns. Use your diplomacy skills, use your ability to really be sort of firm, strong, and an amazing communicator, and you're going to be fine. All right, let's go ahead and expand the forecast. We're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. Health is mind, body, and spirit. This is what we're going to start with. A lot of times how we feel affects and how we feel like emotionally, or what we're sort of thinking, is definitely going to have an effect on the body. So as I've been looking at cards this month, and I would even say the past quarter of the year, I've been noticing now it's less about physical ailments. It's more about emotions and energy within our body. So we have a card here showing don't give up, perseverance. So if you're trying to affect some sort of a change in your health, maybe you're trying to work out, or you're trying to get ready for some sort of a test, or whatever it is that you're trying to do, the important thing is to stay consistent, to not give up, and to know that sometimes we hit plateaus, right? What I think would help you this month is taking some time off. As we look at this card, we actually see someone seeking support or solace from someone. You don't have to do this alone, whatever you're doing in your life. This card can actually show, a best friend as well. This is a very intimate connection card here. So you could go to a family member, a friend, a trusted doctor, and just lean on them a little bit. It's there, but for some reason, some of you aren't accessing that. I feel like a lot of times Libra is the best friend to like everybody in the universe, but sometimes they have a hard time reaching out and saying, I'm having a tough day, or I really could use someone to listen to me for a change. Do that this month. I see it right there in the crowning position. I know it might be hard for many of you, but this is your month to receive support, so allow it to come in. All right, let me just scan really quickly and see if there's any additional notes for health or well-being. Two come to mind. First of all, when the Tower card comes through, this can mean balance issues. So if you're having anything like dizziness, lightheadedness, vertigo, or maybe some of you have fallen down, you definitely want to get that checked out. Tower is an indication of issues with that, or maybe a higher likelihood that you could have a trip or a fall, or some sort of even a vehicular sort of accident or something. This is in the past, And so what you want to look at is what was the root of it then, and can it be avoided now? So it didn't really show up in the present or the future, but I see an issue here that was maybe not fully dealt with, and this is a chance to just kind of check everything off, get all the tests done, and make sure that it truly is in the past. That makes sense. With the Moon card, this can also show fertility questions or issues. So, I'm looking at this Seven of Swords on top of it, and I think that many of you might just be afraid to ask about it. So talk to a doctor and just see if there's anything that you can do to increase your chances of fertility, or if you're worried about freezing eggs, or if you're a man and you want to see if everything is still healthy as far as sperm count goes and everything, just go talk to a doctor. I feel like this is really a transparency opportunity for you, and it didn't come through reverse, so it doesn't show up as negative. It's just a matter of you need to ask some more questions and be more informed or prepared there. Okay, let's move along now to wealth, and I love this. The card is reversed, but the message is amazing. So let's do the message, and we'll talk about the reversal here. So we have the Holy Spirit, and then under this is expect miracles. It says, remember that only love is real. Miracles will occur naturally. Spirit has your back. This echoes a lot of what I've talked about before. And one thing that's nice here is that I feel like you're getting gentle nudges, pushes, and support from the universe this month. What you want to do is to be as present and as awake and aware as possible. So meditation is essential this month. Take time to just, if nothing else, close your eyes and breathe in the morning. That's a form of meditation. If you can do yoga, that's great too. I talked to another sign this month of trying like a 1-minute meditation, trying to do that at least once a day at some point to see if that works. I think this would be really good for you because Spirit, particularly the Holy Spirit, wants to come through. And that means divine energy, divine flow. And you might be receiving insight and intuition through your dreams, or when you just kind of quiet your mind, all of a sudden you get it. It's like that light bulb goes off in your head. But what I really love with this is the second piece here, expect miracles. So whatever didn't work before, this is the boomerang moment. It can happen now. It will happen now. You have to trust. You have to believe. If you don't believe, the miracle won't come through. But you have to just sort of open up your heart, open up your mind, and think, all right, universe, surprise me in a positive way and allow that blessing to come through, okay? This is in wealth. So if you've been trying to shift into something that's more fulfilling, this is the month to do it. The more important piece to this is you should be working your life purpose, your passion. This is the month to come and do what you were supposed to do on this planet. So we all kind of sign up for 1 or 2 or 3 big goals on this planet, but this is sort of like your magnum opus. Why did you actually come here? And sometimes when I do a one-on-one session with people and I ask them what their dream is, what their aspiration is, or what they feel their life purpose is, and they don't know, if you're there, don't worry about it. Just spend some time thinking about it this month. I feel like some of you in the past maybe were just kind of pushed away from a hope, a dream, or an aspiration. It's something I've seen in a few signs this month. So give yourself a chance to dream and try crazy things this month. So I want you to do things because they're fun. So if your work life and love life and everything is in order, now I want you to do a little bit of dreaming. Even if it's not, I still want you to kind of do some dreaming and exploration and think, what gets me excited about getting up in the morning? What am I passionate about in this world? What do I wish I could change or affect? What's that thumbprint or that indelible mark that I want to leave before I go into the next level of ascension, whatever that is? That's going to help you get on your path. All right. But if you can follow your dreams and careers could overlap this month in an exciting way. Looking now at love. You are not alone. That's what this is saying. And also, for some of you, this is kind of, for me, it looks like a little egg and someone's going to come out of that shell. I feel like there's a little bit of uncertainty. Can I show my true colors? Can I emerge now? Can I share my baby with someone, whatever that is? It's not necessarily your child. It could actually be, something passionate that you care about. It could be a cause. It could be a project. It could be deciding to go after something. So this month, you're kind of breaking through that shell and you've built up this protective layer around you. You don't have to carry that shield, not this shield. This is very first chakra. I always think it's important to have protection, but change that red to gold or to some sort of green color. You really want to work with your heart this month and help people see you. Be a little bit more open, because that's too much protection and people can't kind of crack through that shell. The other thing is, for some of you, this is about pregnancy or perhaps wanting to share the news that you're pregnant or that you want to get pregnant. So bring that kind of communication through, because with the Seven of Swords, you have to be transparent in these things. If it's important to you, or if it's something you're afraid of or that you're dreaming of, you have to kind of talk about that. But I see birth, rebirth, or fertility coming through. The fertility can also be about your projects being fertile this month. So you have to share this with the world, though. Whatever you're thinking of doing, it's about letting people in. This is empty. I want to see some people in there. So if it is a project or if it is an idea, you eventually have to kind of connect with others. All right, let's go to your Destiny card now. Just a quick note that Destiny functions not as something that is set in stone, but as a trajectory. You get to look at your GPS and your internal sort of emotions and decide, do I want to go down that path? All right, let's kind of break down the imagery and also the message here on this card. This is so appropriate for your sign here. We have perfection. And this is both your biggest strength this month and also the sword that you could fall upon. I feel like some of you are seeking absolute perfection for something. And that is actually keeping you from sharing something with the world, because your bar of excellence is way too high. And what this is saying is it's already baked. I saw the cake done, now I see the egg and it's ready to crack. It's kind of like, share this already. So if you're trying to be a perfectionist, be careful this month, because the world is waiting. Time is of the essence. You have to act upon this window of opportunity. And I believe you actually have about a month's time to really kind of tap into this and take some action. Let me go ahead now and read what the card says. It says, dream your passion, fly away. Go through the hoop of your innermost fears and desires. We saw that there with the Moon card. What pain from childhood have you not dealt with? Move into the wound of your most secret fears and find the seeds of wisdom that are planted there. Learn from the past, learn from those mistakes. Face what upsets you the most. It is a great teacher. Give away whatever is holding you back: insecurities, ego, fear of failure or not being loved, fear of being alone, and then be reborn into a new state of perfection. This kind of hits upon everything that we just saw in the spread. So yeah, I don't have to add anything to that other than I feel like that fear of being alone, that fear of being perfect, learning from the past, all of that was perfectly encapsulated in that card. So let's look one more time at this. The world is waiting. You have a month. Take advantage of this time. There's no more perfection that needs to happen on this. It's already there, okay? Let's go ahead and review everything, Libra, and then I'm going to leave you with your closing word for this month. This month, you get a second chance. You get to try again. And the key this month is not simply the timing. It's actually your preparedness, something I didn't capture here. But your patience is going to be rewarded. Just don't doubt that the timing is right now. And that's something that we saw throughout this spread, and I'll talk about it as the cards come through. Clear communication is really important, clearing the air. And we saw that here with the Seven of Swords here. You really need to kind of talk about whatever your fears are, also with the Moon card, and with the Queen of Swords. Accessing all of those cards and really bringing the positive energy of being transparent, communicative, and direct. That's going to be key. The other thing with this, it's a reversed tower, basically. We have two of them, one from the past and one that's kind of coming through now. I feel like many of you have been working hard on making changes. Now the changes are happening. You're much more in control this month, and that's been one of the driving messages. Center card. Really try to stay in a positive, creative, and optimistic point of view. Princess of Cups is sort of an infectious card. If you can stay positive, that's going to permeate everything, and it's also going to draw in the right kind of partnerships. Also, use your passion in your communication. You don't want to just be all business, especially if you're trying to propose to someone or pitch an idea or engage people. You have to feel it so they can feel it. We talked already about the tower. There was something in the past that fell apart, or there was a move or a shift or a change, and it really did, for some of you, rattle you in a way. But you learned from that, and that's something that we touched upon in that Destiny card. And that's going to free you. As long as you learn from the past, you're not going to be destined to repeat it, but you have to accept, be grateful for, and integrate the lesson from that period. Otherwise, you're not ready for the opportunity that wants to come through. Queen of Wands, please don't overthink things this month. Again, I feel like you've learned what you needed to, so trust kind of getting into that flow, as we said. Be the conductor. Don't sort of close your ears to the messages that are coming through. Help is here if you need it. Love is here if you want it. Partnership is available when you're ready. One thing that's missing from this is that certainty. The card is empty, and it's also reversed, so I kind of feel like there's a question mark on top of this energetically. So the answer to that is you can do it alone, or you can be partnered with somebody for whatever it is that you want. It's really a matter of preference, and that's something that you're going to have to decide this month. I mentioned that I think it's going to be good for you, especially if it's a professional sort of thing, to just explore all the opportunities on your plate, because this will start to move the needle towards action and activity, and in a very interesting way, not being so kind of stuck on should I do this with someone or without someone, actually will bring that person in a lot faster. When we look at your ego, don't give in to fear. Do listen to your intuition. And basically, when we kind of combine the two of these, what's important is to talk about things. Be very transparent and call someone out if you feel like someone's acting out of sorts. The moon card can be someone that doesn't listen to you or kind of goes off on their own. If you're in a position of power or authority, or if you've hired someone, correct that behavior early on, and that's going to be really, really important. Prince of Pentacles showing that yes, that option or that opportunity is coming. It's probably about a month away or 2 months away, but I see it on the horizon, so don't give up. Ace of Wands, stay true to your vision. Again, don't overthink. Both of these Wands cards were reversed. You want to start to just take action here, and I think that's going to be the key to success. All right, when we look at your health card, we have Perseverance saying don't give up. And also, don't be afraid to lean on someone. I feel like you're always there for others. This month, help wants to come in. The universe has your back. In fact, it's pushing you in a certain direction. Expect that this time around it's going to be great, and that a miracle is possible. One thing that it does say in here is that remember that only love is real. I want you to go after what it is that you are passionate about. Really use your heart chakra this month as your compass, something that I said earlier, and I'd like to emphasize again. When we look at relationships, you've done a really good job of protecting yourself. You've done an even better job of supporting other people. Let your wings sort of spread out this month. Come out of this shell that you've created. Protection is good, but not this level of protection because you've closed yourself off. If it's a project that you want to share, sort of a symbolic baby, trust that this time it's going to be embraced and that it also needs room to breathe and room to grow. We mentioned here that there was both an encouragement to move forward and also a little bit of a time marker. You have to really take action this month, and we see that feather here, which is showing both spirit being present but also a need to spread your wings and share this with the world. And I already believe that many of you have achieved the perfection that you're seeking. The last thing that's holding you back is just that ability to see your own worth. So this brings your monthly reading to a close. I hope that you received all of the guidance that you need in order to feel ready and prepared for all of the opportunities and challenges that are coming your way. If you ever want to talk a little bit more about either something that I covered here today or an additional question that might pop up as you're watching this reading, feel free to reach out to me. The way that you can do that is by clicking on the first card in the video or the first link below. That'll take you to my booking site where you can take a look at rates and availability, and if that makes sense for you, then I look forward to chatting with you soon. At the beginning of the video, I mentioned that everything that you see here is viewer supported. Without your assistance, I couldn't do this. So if you'd like to support the production of future videos, feel free to click on the second card or the second link. This is going to walk through all the different ways that you can become a patron. And that can include anything as small as $1. You could do a one-time $1 contribution using PayPal, and that makes a big difference in allowing me to buy supplies and set up the time that is needed here. You could go a step further if you watch every month and decide to do a sort of continuing contribution through something like Patreon. And you can also do it for as small as $1 there too. So for less than the price of eating out, each and every month you can support what you enjoy here and allow me to sort of have the time and energy that I need to produce the videos. So for anyone that's done this in the past, I just want to say thank you. And if you're thinking of doing it today, it doesn't matter how small or how long you do this, it's going to really make a profound impact and help a lot of other people. So from my heart to yours, thank you very much. Now, a third way that you can make an impact in what I'm doing is simply by clicking a few places, and I hope that you can do this as well. If you haven't already liked the video, please do that, and of course subscribe to the channel. This lets me know and also YouTube know that this is making a difference. You can also click on the third card and third link, which will take you to my website where you can join me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and also sign up for my newsletter if you're interested. And from there, you can also share this on your own social media feeds. When you do this, it really means a lot to me because not only is it adding some exposure to the channel, but more importantly, it's helping me do something that I came to this planet to do, which is raise consciousness, start some intelligent communication and conversations around spirituality, and to shine a light for people that might feel like there isn't hope or they're really kind of afraid. And by doing that, I hope to then inspire others to do the same. I want to sort of see this planet light up with energy, with light workers, with hope. And that's kind of what I'm trying to put out there in a viral way, is hope, inspiration, spirituality. So thank you for helping me kind of brighten and lighten the energy of this planet. It means a lot. Let's now move along to your closing word. This month, I'd like to revisit what we saw here with this perfection card. What you're trying to achieve, many of you have already gotten there. And I think that it's important for you to realize that if you protect yourself too long, or if you keep kind of holding close whatever it is that you're trying to share with the world, you could miss an opportunity. And I'm really, really excited about this second chance. So I want you to walk through the portal. I want you to experience the change and the blessing that wants to come through this month. You don't have to do this alone. You can if you want to, but there is a partnership or an assistance that's out there that's trying to kind of knock on the door. So whatever that energy is, keep an open mind for it this month, because I feel like it could be very, very engaging and very helpful in bringing this forward. And finally, most importantly, I do see progress right around the horizon. What is important this month is that you stay passionate, hopeful, and connected to that higher purpose. Have faith in yourself, have faith in the universe, and tap into Source. Source energy is there, it wants to come through, and as long as you have that connection, you cannot go down the wrong path this month, okay? I would like to end simply by saying thank you so much. Thanks for spending time with me, for allowing me to be on your spiritual path and on your spiritual journey. This little guy wanted to say hello as well, so I brought him out here. Until I see you again, please be kind to yourself and be kind to others and do something that you love, okay? I'll see you again in 1 month's time.